what do you think your future dating approach will be to dating?
It's a tough question, and something I think about a lot, actually.
It is tough because I know it's. You may have, like I'm way different than I was 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and both of our daughters are just one.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a long time before we have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So who knows, or just a change in ourselves. So
I can tell you this much. My hope is to instill in her the proper idea of what a real man is. And
awesome.
I mean that in saying,
I understand.
I want to show her love. I want to show her how a man treats his wife.
Exactly.
And I want to show her how men in general respond to women with respect and integrity and stuff like that. And I hope that from that she'll be able to spot a good guy when she sees one. And if I can't sit here and say, oh, she's not going to be allowed to date until she's a certain age. I haven't thought that far ahead. Mm-hmm. There's way too much other stuff to think about right now. But when that day comes where she does date someone, it's going to be tough for me. I know that because already I'm hoping that she becomes a daddy's little girl, and I picture her I picture the boys asking her to dance and her being like, "No, I'm going to hang out with my dad that night." And
that would be awesome. I mean, I definitely have a similar overall idea of it. I'm really hoping that she sees the interaction with me and my wife, and is like, this is a relationship. This is healthy. This is good because some people don't grow up with a good healthy relationship as like a background for when they grow up.
Sure.
So I'm hoping and you like you said you are too, that when it comes time to be like that, that all the nurturing that she has seen,
she'll know.
She'll understand. And then the first time I went on a date with this guy, he did a bunch of stuff that like I never saw my dad do with my mom. So I don't think this is the guy for me. That's the hope. If you had to choose a band to write a score for Fatherhood for you, could you think of one? That may be kind of like hard to really choose out of the air, and I haven't thought it through myself. So
that's a good question. So it'd be like asking the band to write.
So they're gonna make
the soundtrack to like your.
Yeah, they're gonna make a new album called Kevin, Kevin the Dad, and it's gonna play in the background if you watch the movie of you.
Okay, so
going through fatherhood.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of something that is a lot more like long term than like a band I'm into like right now.
Yeah.
Well, so I picture a more of like a heartfelt sort of song.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, this band is coming to my mind. I really like this band called. Well, they're actually not a band anymore, but they're called the Honorary Title. The tough times do end.
Yeah.
And I say that, again, going back to the fact that I struggled with the first couple months in the terms of, like, I didn't expect what happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I mean, we've talked about this before, like, parenthood to me was a difficult transition. It wasn't something that I adapted to overnight. It wasn't something, I can't sit here and honestly say that I felt like from day one I was like meant to be a dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that I always wanted some kids someday, but it wasn't something that I had like, dreamed about at night or anything like that. So getting used to like, what it takes was a bit of a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
But the great part about that is that the learning curve does come to an end. You do learn how to do it. I mean, as much as you can learn how to do it. And I remember for the first few weeks, Rowan would only sleep on like if we were holding her on our chest.
Oh,
so
really?
like,
we had something similar.
And Jen and I would rotate every night and be like, okay, I guess she'll sleep on my chest tonight. And I remember like being up all night because you can't sleep when your baby's on your chest. I mean, you can, but it's not good sleep.
Yeah. I
remember working, like I'd be like on my phone or laptop or something like that, like working away and like writing emails and stuff like that. And I remember thinking to myself in that moment, like, I'm picturing her like in kindergarten, still at night sleeping on my chest, like, and like that's just not the way it is. A couple weeks later.
So like maybe at that time you were like, well, is this gonna be like this forever?
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta break and change this somehow.
So I guess the advice would be stay positive, in that if you do have a tough time transitioning from not being a parent to being a parent, that you get used to it, and not only do you get used to it, but it turns into like a real amazing thing that you honestly wouldn't trade for anything. I mean, I'm sure it's the same way for you. Like,
absolutely.
I couldn't imagine not being a dad right now.
I know.
If we didn't, I feel like if I could go back in time and not have a baby, I feel like a big part of me is empty. Yeah. Whereas I didn't have that empty feeling before, but now that I know what it's like.
It's definitely, it's an odd thing, because that's, you know, I think I've heard that from dads, and I've experienced it myself, where you don't realize that there could be an emptiness, but now when you look back, it feels kind of weird. Like if you know, Rachel's mom is watching Addie, and like we actually go on a date night, and when we're driving to the movies, it's like really weird to look in the back seat and not have her back there in the car seat. I appreciate you having me here at Iron to Iron, and we're going to be giving away the tea, which is lemon meringue flavor. So check back next week when I announce the winner. And thanks, Kev.
Yeah, no problem, man. Glad to be here.
Stood around, whoa.